Sometimes the hardest part is not buying the gift. It is standing in the aisle at 6:25 in the morning, touching the corner of a box already wrapped in silver paper, while your first meeting starts soon and your phone keeps lighting up in your coat pocket. The store is almost empty. The black glass by the entrance holds a faint reflection of the city. The air conditioner keeps running like it never gets tired. Down one aisle, the motion sensor lights begin to fade because nobody is moving. And you stand there with the gift in your hand, wondering why it still does not feel like enough. Why is it easier to buy something than to say, "I'm here now, and I know I was absent"? This is the quiet pattern behind apology gifts. Not the gifts themselves, and not the kindness inside them, but the moment when a wrapped box becomes a stand-in for presence. Buying apology gifts is when a person tries to repair distance with an object, because facing the person, the silence, or the meaning of what happened feels heavier than the purchase itself. It can look thoughtful from the outside. And sometimes it really is thoughtful. A favorite candle, a small necklace, a book they mentioned once, a pastry from the place they like. These things can carry care. They can say, "I remembered." They can soften the edge of a hard moment. But sometimes, underneath the gift, there is something else. The gift becomes a way to stay close without fully arriving. It becomes a way to say sorry without sitting in the room long enough for the other person to say, "That hurt." It becomes a way to make the scene look repaired before the feeling has been touched. One common reason is time becoming the language of love, even when time is the thing that went missing. For someone who is always busy, care can start getting translated into transactions. The calendar is packed, the inbox is loud, and every day feels like a list trying to outrun itself, so buying something begins to feel like the most realistic form of apology. A person may miss dinner, skip the call, forget the date, and then stop at a gift shop before work because at least this is something that can be held. The box feels concrete, while presence feels messy, slow, and harder to fit between meetings. There's also a quieter reason. A gift gives a person control over the shape of the apology. When you show up with only yourself, the conversation can go anywhere. The other person may be quiet, tired, disappointed, or not ready to make you feel better, and that can be hard to sit with when you already feel small inside. A gift creates a softer entrance, almost like placing something pretty on the table before the truth walks in. You can point to the ribbon, the thought, the money, the effort, and for a moment, the focus shifts away from the absence that brought you there. In other cases, it grows out of a life where feelings were safer when they were packaged. Some people learned early that direct repair was awkward, risky, or never modeled at all. Maybe apologies came through food left on the counter, a ride offered without eye contact, a new item bought after a fight, or a quiet favor done the next day. So later, when closeness feels tense, they reach for the language they understand: objects, gestures, tasks, payments, errands. It is not coldness, necessarily. It may be a person trying to care in the only shape that ever felt allowed. And this is where apology gifts become emotionally complicated. Because the person buying the gift may not be trying to avoid love. They may be trying to protect it. They may think, "If I come empty-handed, it will look like I do not care." They may think, "If I say the wrong thing, I'll make it worse." They may think, "If I bring something beautiful, maybe the moment will not feel so ugly." That is the contradiction. The gift can come from care, but it can also keep care at a distance. It can say, "I thought about you," while hiding the harder sentence, "I was not there when it mattered." It can say, "Please see my effort," while avoiding the quieter truth, "I do not know how to stay present when I feel responsible for hurting you." So the gift is not always the problem. The problem is when the gift is asked to carry a conversation it cannot carry. A wrapped box can hold perfume, jewelry, flowers, chocolate, a handwritten card. It cannot hold eye contact for you. It cannot listen to the other person's version of the day. It cannot say, "I understand why that felt lonely." It cannot stay calm when the room gets quiet. It cannot take your place in the one moment where your presence matters more than your proof. Picture someone at that same gift shop before sunrise. It is 6:25, and the city outside is still half blue, half gray. They are wearing work clothes, checking the time, with one hand on a wrapped box and the other hovering near their phone. The gift is already paid for, but they keep standing there because the real decision is not which gift to buy. The real decision is whether they will walk into the day and keep moving, or pause long enough to send the message that feels harder than money: "I want to talk, not just drop this off." Their chest feels tight, not from the meeting ahead, but from the thought of being seen without a polished gesture in front of them. If you've been there, you're not strange. You might know someone who lives like this. It is a very human way to confuse making up for something with being present for it. The strange part is that buying the gift can even feel mature. It looks responsible. It looks generous. It looks like action. And in a world that rewards fast repair, action feels better than discomfort. You can order flowers in 3 minutes. You can pay extra for same-day delivery. You can choose a card that already says the words. You can create the appearance of care before anyone has to stumble through an honest sentence. But repair often has a slower pace than purchase. It may begin with the plain sentence nobody can wrap for you. I realize I was not there. Or, I can see why that hurt. Or, I brought this because I thought of you, but I also want to hear what it was like for you. There is a difference between a gift that replaces presence and a gift that walks beside it. When the gift replaces presence, the object arrives and the person stays emotionally far away. They drop it off, make a joke, change the subject, or hope the smile means the conversation is over. The gift becomes a curtain. When the gift walks beside presence, the person does not hide behind it. They let it be small. They let it be a gesture, not a defense. They allow the other person to receive it, question it, ignore it, or still feel hurt. That can feel uncomfortable, because it means the gift does not control the outcome. A small place to begin may be noticing the moment right before you reach for the purchase. There is usually a pause there. Maybe your thumb hovers over the order button. Maybe you stand in front of the flowers. Maybe you open a delivery app while telling yourself this will smooth everything over. In that pause, one quiet question can make the moment clearer. What am I hoping this gift will say for me? The answer may not be pretty, but it can be honest. Maybe the gift is trying to say, please do not be mad. Maybe it is trying to say, I feel guilty. Maybe it is trying to say, I miss you, but I do not know how to enter the room. From there, the gift can become less of a shield. You might still buy it. You might still bring the flowers, the book, the coffee, the small thing they like. But the gift can come with one sentence that belongs to you, not to the object. Something plain. Something unpolished. I know this does not replace me showing up. Or, I wanted to bring you something, but I also wanted to be here. Or, I do not want the gift to skip the conversation. That kind of sentence may feel smaller than a grand apology. It may not sound impressive. But it has a different weight, because it does not ask the gift to do all the emotional work. And there is something else here that is easy to miss. Sometimes people buy apology gifts because they are not only apologizing to the other person. They are also trying to repair the picture they have of themselves. The busy person at the gift shop may not only be thinking, I hurt them. They may be thinking, I am becoming someone who misses the people I love. That thought can be harder than the event itself. Missing one dinner is painful, but the meaning attached to it can become heavier. Maybe I am selfish, maybe I am absent, maybe I am turning into someone I never wanted to be. So the gift becomes a way to argue with that meaning. It says, see, I care. It says, I remembered. It says, I am not as distant as this moment makes me look. That is why the wrapped box can feel so important in the hand. It is not only for the other person. It is also evidence for the self. And when that is happening, there is room for gentleness. Not excuses. Not pretending nothing happened. Just gentleness toward the part of a person that panics when one mistake starts feeling like an identity. This is for people who look dependable from the outside, but quietly fear they are becoming absent in the places that matter. If that is the place you recognize, the gift may not be the enemy. The real question is whether it is helping you come closer, or helping you stay protected. A gift can be beautiful. It can be sincere. It can be part of repair. But it cannot be the whole repair. At some point, the ribbon ends. The box opens. The tissue paper gets folded aside. And what remains is the simple, uncomfortable, human thing. Two people in the same room, with one person trying to be there without hiding behind what they brought. Maybe that is the quiet difference. Not apology as performance. Not apology as proof. Just presence that arrives with empty hands if it has to, and stays long enough to be real.